know who else is a big boy? Hey my name is Jobby, and welcome to another episode of JobbyTheHong, where I draw your requests from Twitter. Now I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've been away, I've been doing some things, and hey, I might do another gameplay video for you guys sometime down the line. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Anyway... Hey, my name is Jobby, and welcome to Failbox 16. And the final question, how many... Let's move on. Our next letter from Texas comes from a William Child, and anyone who watched the Shin Godzilla review, this should look familiar. Look at our bigger envelopes. This one from Ohio comes from Gabriel S. We have a drawing of my logo, Shin Godzilla and Legendary Godzilla. My Megatron girl, why did you not finish that? That looks like it was coming out really good. And we have a really cute Mothra girl design. That's great, man. Any artists in the audience, have at it, please. And we have a letter. Dear Papa cardboard, and what appears to be the ramblings of a madman. Or child, basically the same thing. Got some art of Shockwave there. What looks to be a comic. JobbyTheHong Wars. And here we have a clear name, Ali Fatbull. Now because this is a pretty sizable comic, I won't be taking a look at the whole thing in this video, but I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Ali Fatbull. Jaden Ukail Shan is one way to describe this package. And now let's read your letter. Hey Jobby, it's a me, Ali Fatboy from Failbox Part 9. Me and my friends Pua, Jaden Ukail Shan, and Akil has been helping me on this comic. It is called JobbyTheHong Wars. Now I am 10 and a half, 7 and a half more to a big boy. Ah, man. Alright, Ali Fatboy, thank you very much for your package. I really don't know what else I can say about underage viewers on my channel. I just don't give a shit anymore. Our next, Ninja Storm Megazord, right? Very nostalgic. Lion Mane doesn't spin, 0 out of 10. Looks like a really buff Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Very shiny. And finally, and as I mentioned before, Failbox is closing this year, so let's enjoy our time together while we still can, yeah? Now excuse me, I have to take a nap. Hey, my name is Jobby, and today we're taking a look at the Soul of Chogokin GX78 Guardian Beast Dragon Caesar. Also known as the Dragon's diecast, it's solid, durable plastic. Except these relaxed hands, they're grossly flexible, which allows you to pop them off their ball joints and replace them with this pair of stiff hands. Not only do these hands make them more of a Mechagodzilla reference, they also allow the arms to retract into the shoulder, obviously for something we'll talk about later. And speaking of these shoulders, they unpeg too easily. That does allow for some rotation, but that doesn't count as posability, right? Both. Nothing at the head, up and down at the arm, up and down at the wrist, ball joint at the wrist, hinge joint at the chest opens up to allow for an ab crunch, nothing at the waist, wrist spread, the thigh can slightly move out, bend at the knee, ankle moves up, a really nice ankle pivot, and it can move 360. Not the most posable figure in the world, but it is accurate to the show. Must have been hell to move in that thing. And the only problem I have with this mode, the Dragonzord fighting mode has a tendency to perform the smooth criminal lean, but this is no fault of the Dragonzord. He's a good boy and he didn't do nothing, except for the lack of head posability. That's pretty shit. Now you get this alternate piece that allows you to assemble a more proportionate staff that's closer to the show. It is a nice piece of fan service. It's a cohesive combined form that doesn't feel tacked on, unlike our final mode. To commence this shit show, I'll need to get the Megazord back to normal. I'll also need to sing about dying passion to the tune of royalty-free jazz. It's been a while, but my heart, it still hurts. Why won't all my regrets just leave me? I apologize for staring in your eyes, ignoring what I plainly couldn't see. The truth I must admit is love still exists, though I know it's quite hard to preserve. But a broken heart, a fire that won't start, is exactly what I deserve. Careful now, the paint at the tip of the drill could rub off, so obviously this mode is really big, but that's like counting a rabbit's ears as part of its height. But to be fair, those rabbits could get really big. What the fuck? Ooh, boy! Here's Gypsy Danger, Gao Gai Gar, Mechagodzilla Prime, and what's left of the power staff. I'm sure this mode is gonna put some strain on the Megazord over time, so let's just end this madness already. With the lack of attention to articulation for all of the Dragonzord's modes, I honestly think Bandai should have just made a traditional Super Sentai brick with diecast metal parts. The joints here, and even on the Megazord when I think about it, don't feel fully thought out. It's as if these points of posability were an obligation to the Soul of Chogokin brand, as opposed to a well-integrated aspect of the figure. I suppose Bandai is trying to please the purists of the franchise. After all, they wouldn't want anything too different to be done to their precious bricks. And believe me, I know all about the fans who'd rather you stay still and die instead of moving forward. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little impressed. Grab him at the Big Bad Toy Store! If you have a little cash to spare, what the fuck? As for me, I think I'm done with these Soul of Chogokin Power Rangers toys. I keep expecting the solid yet posable joints of Gao Gai Gar, but instead I get this shit. So you guys go ahead and enjoy your tetanus. I'm out. By the way, that figure's also available at the Big Bad Toy Store. Follow that link in the description to check that out. Very important you do that so they know you went to them through me. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have a new shirt available for sale, and I'm actually thinking about streaming soon. So if you could just subscribe to Jobby the Suck! And the autumn wind starts to roll on in. It carries with it memories. And the winter nights leave no trace of light in me.
What the fuck?
And for those of you who don't know about Batman,
What's wrong with you?
the box features a few classic Batman quotes, such as, "Snacks at this hour." This all just reeks of English, I love it. And I love this I won't jump the gun just yet. This iteration of the Cape Crusader is part of the amazing Yamaguchi subline of Reveltech, which happens to be the line that the Reveltech Spider-Man I reviewed belongs to. From what I can, the only issue I have with this Batman design is the lack of black underwear. Why can't superheroes wear underwear on the outside anymore? Cowards. That and the cape is holy motherfucking piece of shit! Batman, 6 identical stems and 4 identical nubs, things become much easier to process. But then you take it all apart and realize there's a potentially infinite amount of ways you can assemble the cape, and dear God, make it stop! All this grief, and I've yet to mention posing the damn thing. The joints here are these special Reveltech joints, which is just a ratchet and a rotation. You get one here, here, and here. Multiply that by 6, and now you're ready to agonize over the endless variations of cape configurations. But to prevent your head from exploding, we'll take a look at 3. For the normal cape look, all you'll need is 4 stems with 2 of them attached to nubs. Keep in mind there's no correct way to, I like to call the beautiful spread. I recommend switching out the default fists for these included open hands. It'll make the pose that much more convincing. And to point out something that you can clearly see, the cape is kind of a mess to handle, but if you get it set up properly, it's a beautiful mess. Just like my upload schedule. Oh, straight up stole that from an Instagram comment. Leave a comment down below and I might even steal your idea. While the cape is gappy as all hell, some of you in the comment sections of my social media pages, links in the description, offered up the brilliant idea that the cape looks torn up by bullets from a gunfight. Definitely not a perfect justification, but I'll take anything to validate the 2 hours of figuring this formation out. Dear God, make it stop! With the grapple gun sculpted into it. A gun that's been fired, that is. I think the instructions say you could hang it off of places, but I don't know if it's strong enough to hold everything up. With all these interesting accessories and that cold-hearted bitch of a cape, you could pull off some ridiculously action-packed poses, which of course would be impossible without, the exorcism of Bruce Wayne.
I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your ratchet joint?
Chest can pivot and rotate, which is technically a waist joint. Hinge joint at the utility belt, little bit of up and down. Ball joint at the hips, can kick that far and move back that far. Really good spread. Get that thigh rotation working and it's straight up beautiful. Pivot, rotation, Batman, animated Batman version 2, animated Joker, Madoka Godzilla Prime, and the amazing Yamaguchi Reveltech Swivel Spider-Man. You most likely know about this store. As for me personally, I've been shopping at HLJ for years, so you can imagine I was super excited when they approached me to be their shill. And then I completely messed it up by not releasing this review for 3 months after receiving the figure. Oh well! Please leave a like on this video to pay respects for my HobbyLink Japan partnership. It was fun while it lasted.
What's wrong with
These wings tends to drag the whole figure down, so removing them would make things way easier. But you just gotta nut up and do your goddamn job, Jobby! If to balance it properly, we'll be able to focus on the amazing painting and sculpting. And to be honest, I wasn't fully sold on this fully mechanical design, at least at first. Impression on me. Now remember kids, size doesn't matter. Except when it does. It's so fucking big. Ass. Instead of a dumpy, lumpy, frumpy boy, we get a slick and angular design. In some spots, he even resembles a ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, and a ball joint. Borderline SH Monster Arts articulation here. On a side note, those King of the Monsters figures look great. Damn Ghidorah looking like a snack. On the side, this head sculpt is great, but it gets even better if you replace it with this, where is it? Oh! Not many figures have weapon storage, let alone face storage. I love it. He has a nice heft, but strangely, there's no die-cast metal, as far as I can tell. A little step down from Beast Gorilla, to be honest. A tight waist joint and really tight ankle pivots guarantee that the figure can carry that weight, no matter how you pose him. Wish the Zap Crunch was tighter, though. Ball joint at the base of the tail allows for rotation at the head. Ratcheted rotation, arm moves out. Bicep joint, a bend and a rotation at the elbow. Wrist can move forward as well as rotate. Index figure with a bend in the middle and the bend at the knuckle. The dragon arm has the same amount of articulation. Front skirts move up, allows for a generous rotation, and the back skirts move up, allowing the leg to move back that far. Beautiful spread. Thigh joint, bend at the knee, rotation at these thrusters, mid-calf joint, which is more relevant for his alternate mode. Ankle guard moves up, a barely noticeable ratchet joint at the ankle. Whoo, that's tight. And a useless reverse toe bend. A lot of steps. Again, removing the wings and tail would make this easier, but I ain't no bitch nigga. Something very important to note here. He's eating his own ass. After a deceptively complex but enjoyable transformation, I can say that Perfect Effect nailed the dragon mode. If you thought the robot mode was enjoyably big, thanks to his neck and tail, he's bigger than the robot mode, bigger than the box, bigger than my son. But his sound. Damn, I also like how these arms aren't tiny and vestigial. Wish they would have gone farther with the arm articulation though. A wrist joint at least, come on. No wrist rotation means you always look sort of timid and oh no, it's cute. However, I have to say that this mode holds together extremely well, except for the tail that doesn't snap in as much as it should, but it does add extra articulation, so I'm not mad at all. And just like the robot mode, this mode is a challenge to balance and pose, but man, it's rewarding if you set it up properly. And this posability includes everything we covered in the robot mode, plus that mid-calf bend.
And nothing at the waist.
Being too dynamic since he'll just fall over before you do. Articulation here to make the dragon mode a step above most beast modes. He's basically on the same level as Masterpiece Dinobot, but Dinobot didn't have an extra hinge joint for the wings, and damn! It's so fucking big! One has the superior beast mode, but Gorilla ain't a slouch either. They look great together. This giant mechanical red and black dragon reminds me a lot of the Epion gun. Just like the original toy, the vehicle mode is completely worthless. He has that in common with Beast Gorilla. At least he can roll. My other Digivolving Spirits reviews, you'll know what kibble is the hard way. But if you look carefully, there is a bit of kibble peeking out of the shell. It's actually not too bad since it's at the bottom of his back. I mean, you wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't told you, right? And while we're at his shell, it is satisfyingly smooth for the most part, but these obvious dots get in the way of my satisfaction. Pretty impressive that a couple of dots is the most obvious bit of kibble on this figure. Makes a little more sense is the die-cast metal horn. And of course the horn is connected to this disgusting head sculpt. Is it just me? Unfortunately, there's barely any articulation here, which is a huge step down from the other figures of this line. The most you get is a hinge joint here and an opening mouth. After 6 figures, it's obvious that articulation is not a priority with this line, but a ball joint at the head is all I needed, Bandai, come on. Anyway, you get a ball joint at the shoulder can shift, ball joint at the bicep, can rotate, double bend at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, ball joint at the second pair of shoulders, bend at the elbow, and a mid-arm ball joint. Nothing at the waist, ball joint at the hips, allows for rotation, can move back that far, beautiful spread. These flaps of flesh can shift, thigh rotation, can rotate, and a reverse toe bend. Gets even better when he transforms, I mean digivolves. And here we have Tintaman! I'll never do that again. It was like an actual character, as opposed to an adorable paperweight. Even with the lack of an actual face, he's still packed with personality thanks to this ball joint at the head. Where the f was this in the other mode? The only way this head sculpt could get any better is if he had an opening mouth. That's kinda gross, actually. I also would have liked it if Bandai could find a way to— what, son of a bitch! We were this close to perfection. This close. Look, I really like the opening wings. Gives the figure an extra degree of articulation. But would it have chafed Bandai's nuts to include an extra layer of wings to cover that shit up? Well, it can't bother me if I just ignore it, right? Works for my other problems. With the shell closed up and the demons at bay, I find this figure even more satisfying to hold than the Mega Kabuterimon mode. But he does tend to fall over due to the junk in the trunk. That's where the stand comes in. Again, but this time you get an alternate crotch cradle, put it in this hole, and that forces him to have some terrible posture. You don't really need this, just as long as you pose them properly. Ball joint at the shoulder, limited rotation, shoulder can shift, rotation at the elbow, bend at the elbow, rotation at the claw, and we covered the second pair of arms already. Ball joint at the hips, thigh rotation, knee rotation, a bend, and rotation at the calf. I'm telling you, that ball joint at the head does a lot to make this figure so expressive, despite his fairly limited articulation. And speaking of next year, I hope you guys have a good one. You go ahead and make those resolutions and never follow through with them. As for me, I'll continue reviewing toys on a hopefully more consistent schedule. One video a week at least. And I'll see you next time. Next year. The future looks bright. Is the future as bright as you say? You're not making as much revenue as you used to. Shut up.
Evangelion.
The painting of the sculpting on this figure is dumbass shoes. Standing tall, we can see that she's a great representation of one of the best parts of the show. You heard that right. This pink-haired waifu of the week that was literally designed to be marketable is more than just a pretty face. She's actually got some suit is cast in a deep shade of blood red. Appropriate considering the violent nature of the character. Wait, did I say plug suit? Come to think of it, these back panels look a lot like... Nope, no similarities at all. And while we're back here, hell yeah, dude. Looks fine until you bend her legs for... Oh my god! For butt cheeks on Bandai. Bye. The accessories here are a bit disappointing. There doesn't seem to be any real consideration about the character here. Just throwing a bunch of shit so we can justify a $50 price tag. I had a similar issue with the DC Collectibles animated Joker from way back when. Like, oh yeah, the Joker is well known for his iconic comb. The only accessories that really stand out here are the stand and this hood piece that we'll get to soon. Right after we cover this ball joint at the head, ball joint at the shoulder, allows for rotation, bicep joint, bend at the elbow, hinge joint at the wrist, and if you rotate a few things, you can get some side to side. Ball joint at the tata allows for an arcing back and a slight crunch. These butt flaps have a hinge joint and rotation, but that's more for the transformation. Ball joint at the hips allows for a slight kick, but you can extend that range by extending the waist. And now look at that! Can't move back that far.
Beautiful spread.
Thigh rotation, and an ankle pivot. That's always fun. Seeing that Darling in the Franxx is a mecha show, a big part of Zero Two's character is that she's a Franxx pilot, and the Franxx have a very particular way of being piloted. Shoehorn transformation sequence, let's go! The instructions say to switch her hands here, but it doesn't really matter. And here we have her pistil mode, as in pistil and stamen, the female and male reproductive organs of a flower, respectively. Blooming sexuality, remember? It's all really intelligent and metaphorical, totally not designed for lowly degenerate virgins to fap to.
For fuck's sake.
Other Darling in the Franxx figures are also available, which include Ichigo, who did nothing wrong, and the show's uniquely designed mecha.
Even the giant robots are hot. Japan is fucking dead.
Have holes in them. It is possible to stand her up on her own using these ball-jointed heels, but there's already enough suffering in the world. Just plug her ass in. Regardless of what I think about the show itself, as outlined in my 02 review, I have to admit that Strelitzia has an awesome design. Sure, it did take me a while to get warmed up to it. I mean, the idea of a mechanical schoolgirl is kind of dumb. But what keeps Strelitzia from being too stupid is that she's not distractingly fetishized. Okay, maybe a little bit. The sexual characteristics of the giant robot ties into the whole blooming sexuality metaphor that I mentioned previously. It's all they really have to make her this thick. Unfortunately, this beautiful butt sculpt is immediately broken once you rotate the legs even a little bit. Spread the cheeks. But even with this fatal flaw, it's still a better butt than 02's. And if you also get a shield that looks suspiciously like fin funnels of a With weapons in hand, the figure feels a little clunky and difficult to handle. But thanks to all the ball joints and rotation at the fiddly bits, there's an ease of mobility that's not immediately obvious at first glance. Sure, Strelitzia's proportions are admittedly super wonky, so you'd think she'd have a hard time holding any sort of action pose. Nope! This figure is super lightweight with solid joints, allowing for a full and satisfying range of pose ability. She can look up that far, look down that far, ball joint at all 4 of these hair strands, and you could even rotate each of them. Ball joint at the shoulder pads, ball joint at the shoulder proper, allows for rotation, hinge joint here, bicep rotation, bend at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, ball joint at the shield. This wire is a bendy wire, allowing it to hold some poses. Ball joint at her mechanical tetas, which allows for an arc, a crunch, and some rotation. Ball joint at the hip skirts, ball joint at these front panels, and a ball joint at these side panels. And this whole attachment is connected to a ball joint here. Ball joint at the hips allows for an impressive kick, and the leg can move back that far. Beautiful spread. Ball joint here allows for some thigh rotation. Bend at the knee. That's a slight rotation there. Nothing at the stump of a foot, but you do get those previously mentioned ball jointed heels. In case you lose them or they break off, Takara has included a pair of spares, and I love it. And I gotta say, the car mode is awesome. It helps that this is an officially licensed Corvette Stingray, and the fact that it looks so much like its real-life counterpart reminds me of the old Alternators line. Does anyone remember that? Honestly, not too bad compared to the other car modes I've seen. And even with this block of kibble underneath the car, this mode rolls fairly well. Relevant for the flight mode, which we will get into right now. First thing you want to do is the same thing you would do if you were shoving Blaster into the car. Pop the back, flip out the wings, apologies, those are backwards, and bada bam, you got the flight mode. Might look a little silly, but it is based on the original G1 toy, and holy crap, that's gotta be the best G1 figure I've ever seen. Piece Bumblebee, the original. There's Figma Modic Academy, SH Monsteroids Godzilla, Masterpiece Optimus Prime, Masterpiece Megatron, and the Masterpiece Bumblebee, the original. The one and only. What else can I say? Car mode is excellent, but of course, like any other Transformer, this is just half of the full package. We're just gonna start it off with the flight mode because you're basically a quarter of the way to the robot mode at that point. And while we're here, we might as well flip this thing up, twist that, push that in, and you get a hand. Next, we're gonna pop off this good old trunk, twist it around. Let's get those rockets into position. They go off to the sides, and you kind of see a ghost of an upper body so far. You can take this section and just shift it up. And let's flip the head up while we're at it. Might seem a little loose at first, but if you just snap it all the way in, it won't fall back. Reveal that logo, and you'll want to angle these arm sections diagonally, and that's going to allow us to plug this tab into here. There we go. Doesn't stay in as much as I'd like, but it's something. Now we could do a good old waist rotation. We can hook on the backpack. Upper body complete. As for the legs, I can't quite split them. Whatever happened to simple extend? You gotta flip around a bunch of panels. Let's just get into it. You're gonna wanna shift the hood piece like so. Grab this gray piece and twist it all around. Oh my god, this is become messy. But before you do that, you do wanna extend the side of the legs. There we are. And that becomes the feet. You can plug this all the way in. Fold the car grill up. Ooh, I do not like that sound, but it will allow us to fold this gray part all the way to the front, and that becomes the shin. And just like that, we got the robot mode. You just finagle it into his hand, he can hold it. That's really all I wanted to say about the gun. And he can also hold Raoul. Let's do our best to get the shit out of his hand and talk about his ball joint at the head. Can look left and right, of course. Looks up that far and looks down that far. Stupid unpegging arms. The rockets here can rotate and have a hinge joint here. Wings can flap. Hinge joint here. Shoulder can move forward. Rotation at the arm. Moves out. Bicep joint. Bend at the elbow. Woo! Let's hear that again. Those ratchets are making me thirsty. Rotation at the wrist. I guess you could consider this an inward bend. Fingers can open. Slight ab crunch. Rotation at the waist. This crotch flap can flip up. Rotation at the leg. Can move back that far. Legs move out. Rotating thigh. Bend at the knee. Ankle moves up and down. And you get a beautiful pivot. Posability on this figure is pretty damn good. Those ratchets at the elbow and the knees make them feel really durable. Pretty cool. If you like the review, give me a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And and subscribe for definitely more Transformers Masterpiece reviews. As much as I rag on the MP45, I'm still gonna get it. Ugh. So because I'm not familiar with Holy Angemon at all, there's a nostalgic small brain part of me that would have preferred the normal champion level Angemon. At first glance, Holy Angemon just seems like a total cluster. How many wings does this guy even have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8! 8 wings! How many wings do you even need? We get it, you have a big cock! It's a very nice feather detailing. The only kibble that truly feels out of place to me are these panels at the left. Yes, that's half a mouth. And I'm surprised to say that the excess amount of wings aren't that bad to handle. The ball joints are nice and tight. It might look like a mess up here, but it's surprisingly pleasant to handle. And that's in no small part due to the die-cast metal boots here. They're pretty much carrying the weight of this heap of kibble. In addition to these boots being die-cast metal, his belt, titty, and gold wristband are also made of die-cast metal. Ah, shit! You can put this thing away if you wanted to, but that plays more into the digivolution. Is it just me, or are these arms a little short? It's even more... Oh, yes. Looks fine. But of course, he will look even better if we posed him a little bit. Ball joint. Oh shit, this came off easier than expected. He can look left and right, somewhat up and down into his chest. He's got a ball joint at his ponytail, but it's kind of hard to access due to what crap. There it is. And since we're here, hinge joint, ball joint here, hinge joint here, another hinge, and there's a hinge joint here and a hinge joint here. Gives you that nice inward curve. Ball joint at the shoulder. This clear purple shoulder guard is also on a ball joint. Some forward movement. Arm kind of moves out. The shoulder guard kind of gets in the way. That's about it. Somewhat of a bicep rotation. Double bend at the elbow. Bullshit. Ball joint at the wrist. Allows for a 360 rotation. The watch can rotate. And I already showed you the sword. Ball joint at the chest. Can rotate somewhat, but those ribbons do limit it. Ball joint at the waist as well. And before we get into his hips, let's turn this figure around and take a look at the ball joint at this wing. Rotate a little. Hinge joint here. Hinge joint here. And a ball joint at this wing. Ball joint at this big ribbon. Hinge joint here. Ball joint at the hips. Allows for a kick. That knee bent inward too far. More for the transformation. Can move back fairly far until the wings get in the way. There's a hinge joint inside there that allows the leg to shift a little bit, and if we have both of the hips lowered, you get a really good spread. Thigh rotation joint at the ankle allows for some rotation up and down, and an extra hinge joint allows it to move up even further. Hinge joint here, shitty ball joint, and if you can see that, that's a pivot. Same line, these guys look complete together, but I'm too much of a lazy bitch to frame them all in one video. So, just like the original figure, this guy devolves into an orange flying moe blob. So switch on that royalty-free jazz and I'ma walk you through the transformation audibly. First thing I like to do is fold up these arms. Elbow cap popped off again. Who gives a shit? I'm just gonna put it off to the side before I murder. This guy's actually got a pretty similar transformation to the original Angemon figure, just with a lot more shell. We'll get to that later. Retract the sword, fold up the wings, and by now he should look like he's about to punch you. We'll get these panels of kibble into position, and this is where we can fold out the front legs. We'll leave them there for now, but now, let's get into the shit. These two wings are actually connected, so you want to bend them and connect them. Same with the other side, and you could kind of see where this is going. I'll just take care of these eye panels right now, might fuck me up later. Folding these ribbons, might have wanted to do that earlier. Oh boy. Flip that out, twist that all the way around, and now we have half a butt. Extend this part, bam. Now we can attach what was formerly the two ribbons. And look what we got. Cute little tail. And now we are in position to close this up. Fold the wing in. Swing this big old thing all the way until snap, snap. And again for this panel. Snap. And now we can attach these two pieces together. It looks like he's screaming in agony. Let's shut him up. Oh no, that happens sometimes, but all you gotta do is push and... Well, that was kind of a mess, but unfortunately it was easier to film, and because I'm talking over transformations now, you're less likely to skip it, admit it, bitch. So here we have Patamon, and goddamn, what a glow up. Tiny legs keep the figure standing, even with all the die-cast metal inside here. These ball joints are no joke. Can't really say the same thing about the original. This guy isn't bad by any means, but this new one just murders this guy and his entire family. They're buried in the backyard. Don't tell anyone. With all the praise on the table, I should say this guy isn't perfect. Far from it. Kibble here. Somehow the original belly looks better. But what the original can't even come close to is the ear posability. Do you hear that? The ball joints are satisfyingly tight. Not so much here. Unfortunately, even with the previously mentioned stand adapter, there's really no way to display this guy in the air. He doesn't have any kind of port here. As for the posability, I pretty much covered it all. What were you expecting from something as basic as this? After many months of gifts and love, we finally reach the Failbox finale. Part 1. Godzilla's done in the style of my logo. I like that. Hi, Jobby, you mean lord. I love your videos. They never fail to make me laugh. P.S. Which design for Godzilla do you prefer, 2017 or 2014? If by 2017 you mean the anime Godzilla, 2014. I'll prefer a solid fat reptile over a clump of moss. Connor Clark, Swivels. Thank you very much, Connor. And now, our last letter. In a Funko Pop style. Disgusting. Okay, I don't see a name on here, but thank you very much, Mystery Steven Universe fan. This one comes from a slapper? That's what I'm getting from there. It seems like this tag is blocking the rest of their name. And they're from Colorado. Number 2, for your a cappella cover of Who Will Know, why did you decide to sing it at a lower pitch than the original? The original was written for a lady voice. If I die in this world. That hurts after a while. If I die in this world. You see? Just feels better. Number 3. Since you no longer seem to be physically capable of saying the words or have you considered alternative words or synonyms to get your point across? For the S word, it's rotation. For the is not as bad to require a synonym. Spoilers, it'll come back eventually. I thank you again for all of your hard work and for taking the time to respond to my inquiries. Best of luck to you and may you or pivot responsibly. Sincerely, Nicholas. Yeah, I'm just dumb. I don't know how to read cursive, but there's your name. Thanks, Nicholas. Full time from Voltron Legendary Defender. We've got a few papers, artwork. I can't draw. Oh, we've got a note. Dear Jobby, do you remember me from Failbox 6? I'm Alex V. This one doesn't have a name, but I'm sure it will be inside. That's all we need to know. Thank you, Alex V. I am not a drawer, but I hope this figure would make it up. It's the Blue Lion from Voltron. The show was good, but it could be better. Let me hear your opinion about it. I've only seen the first season, didn't bother to check out the second because I wasn't too big on it. Absolutely hated the humor.
What do you think they have in all those giant containers?
Well, I suspect that it's sporks.
Shut the fuck up. I have some questions for you. Number 1. Shitty taste, I know. Number 3, what do you think about Bumblebee? Well, Bumblebee is a timeless character. I'll always love and cherish him. Haven't seen the movie yet. Number 4, opinion about Sonic the Hedgehog movie poster. Fucking trash. People who are holding out hope for the movie to be good, I'm sorry. It's not gonna be good. But I will watch it for the meme. Probably not day 1, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. I need to see this abomination. For a tiny little thing, this is pretty heavy. I wonder what's in there. This little box comes from a Henshin Sunrise. And we've got a letter at the bottom of the box from Gokai Platinum Marca. Awesome name. There's our letter. Alright, here we go. Okay. We've got food coloring. And we have... Damn, boy! Ayo, Caesar, if you're watching this, I've got bottles of lube with your name on it. How you gonna give me the Bad Dragon cum lube and no actual Bad Dragon? Look, for the sake of the video, I gotta open this. Oh, dude. Oh, no. Oh, I'm scared. Why am I scared? It's just cum. It's just cum. It's nothing. It's just cum. Oh, okay. It's not even open. Let's open this shit. God damn it, Henshin Sunrise. What the fuck? Jesus. Oh, no! Oh shit! No! No! Holy fuck, it reminds me of Friday night. And by that I mean, I masturbate too much. actually doesn't smell like anything. Yeah, thank God. Doesn't smell like rotten bananas. Let's just move on. If your cum is this stringy, please get help. The chances of this video getting demonetized have increased by at least 80%. Kind of toy to play with. Hopefully you get as much fun out of it as I have. So have a very merry Jizmas. If I'm talking real here, this is just fucking disgusting. Why would you even send me something like this? Break her in, you know what I'm saying? Once you get the figure standing by positioning the hinge joint, she's disgustingly adorable. Not much new to say about her design that I didn't already say in the Reveltech Ray review, links in the description. It's the classic Ray plug suit with chibified proportions. Big head, tiny limbs, booty. I don't want to dwell too much on this, but I had to say that this is the best figure butt that I've ever seen. Who am I kidding? I do want to dwell on this. It's amazing how it maintains its roundness even when you rotate the leg. 02 could learn a thing or two or four from this butt sculpt. And before he almost looks like blood. Come on, it's a Ray figure, not a Kaworu. Too soon? And as much as I like the thickness, the upper body seems to have suffered for it. There's barely anything going on at the chest. Suck on my dick. The ball joint here is obscenely loose and it definitely requires some sort of fixing. Go ahead and leave your suggestions in the comments. Probably won't read them since I already know how to fix loose ball joints, but I need that engagement, guys. Come on. The chest is kind of a shame, not just because of the size of it, but everything else is solid and smooth. I mean, the rotation at this head is crazy tight. You definitely don't want to even try to pop that off. And speaking of the head, shit, that makes her feel so alive. And I'd say that's quite a feat, seeing as Rei Ayanami is completely dead inside. This face sculpt still feels like Rei, even though it's through this chibi art style. According to these extremely detailed instructions, it's kind of a subpar variety of accessories, but what are you gonna do? Not that bad. Let's just move on to her ball joint at the head. Rotator. So of course that can rotate. Arm moves out. Barely there, bicep. Hinge joint at the wrist. Rotate that, and you could... oh, fuck. And you could get some side to side. Previously mentioned ball allows for a crunch and a slight arch. Wish she could arch her back more, know what I'm saying? Of course, that could turn 360. Ball joint at the hips. Allows for a kick, and can move back that far. Look at how natural that butt looks. Thigh rotation. Bend at the knee. Could have been deeper. Up and down at the ankle. Rotation. And somewhat of a pivot. But the most disappointing thing about the posability here... what the hell is that spread? It's almost nothing! Anything for the booty, I guess, I could respect. Well, from either of my two dads, but a quick Google search should fix that. Oh, that's most likely a bootleg. So if you like this video, leave a like, give me a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe for even more Evangelion reviews. Trust me, I'm gonna write the Netflix hype for as long as I can. You're killing me, Bandai! And the best and last thing I'll say about the Parfum Rei Ayanami is that the figure is so good that it gives off the illusion that Rei is a likable character. Oh! Bye!